Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. I hope everyone is doing well. So, today I thought I'd do something a little different with my little emoji thing that Samsung has on my phone. So today I want to talk about hatred and how it's an illusion that we buy into that changes our condition, that changes our state of being, that changes our vibration, that changes the ratio of degradation within our soul. Technically, no one can hate you. I posted this on Facebook and on Instagram a couple of days ago, I think, and I thought I would make a video about it. Because hatred is an illusion. Usually, someone hates someone else for either doing something or not doing something. And that hatred is only a result of someone who has a discontent within themselves based on their idea of what should be. So some people, friends, family, strangers, it doesn't matter who it is, will hate you for not being how they want you to be. So someone will hate others for hurting animals if they're hunters. Some people will hate adulterers, pedophiles. Some people will hate you for not lying for them. Someone will hate you for not standing up for them. Some people will just hate you because of the color of your skin, or your gender, or your whatever, the way you dress, the way you present yourself. But understand, it's not because you are doing any of these things. It's because you're not meeting their idea of how you should live your life. It's a projection, but it's stemming from what's within them. There's a discontent within them. There's pain within them. First and foremost, there's pain that dwells within them, and they don't want to recognize this pain. And because of that, they need to let it out. And so what happens is they find any way they can to release it. And so they find the smallest of things in order to express it.
There are crashes on California 2 South near Pasadena that are causing a delay.
There are... Now something's still talking?
If you prefer to stay on the current route, tap no thanks.
Okay, I don't have time for all that. So, that really distracted me. Like that never happens, right? So, what was I saying? Oh, not another one. They will find the smallest of things in order to release that anger. And they don't know this is happening. They have no idea this is happening. And the people who consciously may know this is happening, they don't really understand it. Because they're in so much pain, they can't focus on anything like that, because they're too preoccupied with the pain. They're too occupied in finding others to blame, others to hate. But it's really not, it's not because of you, it's because of them. Let me tell you, when people are solid with who they are and they are comfortable in their own skin, they're too busy making their lives, or I should say, they're too busy making meeting their desires and making them happen, making them manifest. They're doing their own thing. They're not worried about other people. But the only way that can happen is because they don't have that anger within them to contend with. People who have anger within them, or pain within them, they have to contend with that. That is just the way that it is. And if they don't, they'll still feel it, which is why people move to addictions, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's sex, whether it's, adrenaline junkies. It doesn't matter what it is. They will find something in order to mute the pain. But the pain is still there. It's always there. The soul has been designed to deal with all things that are within the soul. Now, we can use our mind to ignore those things, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. So when you're dealing with someone who acts like they hate you, they don't like you. Sorry, that bubbly water got to me. it's not because of you. It's not because of you. And a lot of times, if you did something to them, they still don't hate you. They're just discontent with the things that are within their soul, the pain that they have experienced. I mean, just look at how many times people have gotten into arguments and they're friends again. They've gotten into arguments and they're back together again. Because this is just the nature of it. People don't hate you. They just hate. It's the denial of their pain that's within them. So like there's been like, I want to say 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4, possibly 5 people in the workplace who have all of a sudden started hating me, just not liking me. And I didn't do anything to them. It was actually one person who didn't like me, who was very, very angry. She just didn't like anybody. She did because she was dealing with a lot. And that pain had to come out, and so it started to come out in all sorts of ways. And so these other people started jumping on board, but it wasn't that it wasn't because I did anything, because there was no interaction. So how could it possibly be me if I didn't interact with them? This is my point. It has nothing to do with you. One's anger has everything to do with what dwells. Oh Lord, that's bright. It has everything to do with that sun. And I can't put my glasses on, my sunglasses, because then the phone won't recognize my eyeballs and keep my little face up there. So it's not because of anything else other than the pain that dwells within them. So what happened was this one person, or I should say these group of people, started aligning with the person who was, I would just call in this case, the ringleader. Their anger is something that the others were in alignment with. That's something that they were able to relate to. That's something that they were able to identify with. And so they started kind of, just like I said, aligning themselves with that person. And because that was a common denominator, they started following that person because it was a way to let their anger out. Before, they didn't have this avenue to release their anger, but now that they have it and it's good to let it out, they want to stick with it. And so they hate me. They just don't like me. And like I said, I didn't do anything to them, but it's just the way that it is. And so I'm not affected by it because I know I didn't do anything, and I know it's mainly solely because of the pain that dwells within them. I've known their lives for a while. I've known the things that have been going on in their lives, so I know that they've been dealing with a lot. And then more recently, I found out other things that they've been dealing with, and so it just makes total sense. But if you understand this, then you don't have to take on the pain that you're taking on because of not understanding what's really happening. But this is the way that it happens. Like, nobody hates you because of you. They hate you because of what's dwelling with them. And they really don't hate you. It's just a denial of their own pain. That's it. Just a denial of their own pain. It has nothing to do with you. It's just the pain that dwells within their soul. So another thing that happens is... Hold on a second. Oh, you can see my yawn. That's so funny. I'm so used to being able to do things without the camera being on me. You guys can see my yawn because it shows up in the little face thing. Whatever. That's funny. Anyway, I was going to say something else about... Oh, so if someone is living their own life and they're not doing anything to anybody, they're happy and content with their life, and someone starts hating on them, they won't be affected by it. And if you understand what I just said a few minutes ago, or over the course of minutes that I've been talking, you'll understand too that if someone is coming at you from the left, there's no reason for you to respond and like. There's no reason to be angry with them in return. There's no reason to hate them. There's no reason to treat them differently. There's no reason to talk about them. There's no reason to be passive aggressive with them. There's just no reason. Just understand what's going on with them, and if you truly have love within your heart, if you truly have love within your soul, then you pray for them. Ask the Creator to help give them the message that they need so that they can see the truth of their being, so that they can get out of that funk. Because as long as you're in the funk, you're going to be unhappy, and you're going to continue to hurt people. And if you take on that funk, understand you're not really taking on that funk. If you're angry in return, it's not because of what they did to you. The same holds for you as well. It's because of what dwells within your soul. Again, if someone is happy, if someone is content with their lives, they're not going to respond in like. They'll respond differently. They'll respond with truth. They'll respond with love. They'll have the truth, and they'll be able to respond with compassion, because they would then have the understanding to do so. You know what I mean? I want to weep. That's so funny. I'm going to do it again. This is hilarious. It's so funny. Anyway, so yeah, people don't hate you. And when you feel bad because of it, it's only because there's something within you that is a pain. There's pain that deals with that. There's pain that dwells within you, and it's being triggered. That's it. It's just being triggered. Because if you didn't have it within you, it wouldn't be there to be triggered. You wouldn't be angry. You wouldn't be sad. You wouldn't be mad. You wouldn't become aggressive. These things only, even when I'm on the road and people are in my way, if I become aggressive, it's because there's something within me that's being triggered. That's it. There's something within me that's being triggered. And whatever feeling comes up, that's the feeling that needs to be dealt with. And as long as it continues to happen, that means that I have continued to not address or release that which dwells within me. That's what that means. And that goes for every single soul on the planet. It doesn't matter your gender. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter what color you are, what ethnicity you are. It's the same for every soul. It doesn't matter what language you speak. The soul understands only... Look, no matter what color you are, no matter the race you are, no matter what ethnicity you are, the soul is what we are. And it understands a language. And that language are feelings and emotions. That's it. That's what the soul understands. It doesn't understand vocabulary. The mind understands vocabulary, interprets things, however it perceives things. You see, we all perceive things differently, so it doesn't matter if someone calls you a cow or an elephant. In some cultures, those are considered to be some of the greatest things, and to be referenced as one is an honor. So it really depends on your culture, depends on your perspective. But what I'm saying is your interpretation of things is what's going to determine how you feel. Someone can say, oh my gosh, you're so tall. And if you're insecure about that, then you're going to have a negative emotion, a negative feeling. But if you're confident in who you are, you'll take it as a compliment. You're like, wow, yeah, they noticed that I'm tall. I like being tall. Why do I like being tall? Because I like being me. I like who I am. like me personally, I like my height. Some people hate being tall, but I like my height. I'm about 6'1", and I like it. I can reach stuff on the the top cabinets. I just like it. When I'm wearing clothes, I like how clothes look, because it's just so much more of clothes I can wear. I just, I like who I am. So if someone were to say something like, oh my gosh, your hair, you know, some people hate their hair. They're like, oh my gosh, you have salt and pepper hair. Some people hate it. Oh, that's interesting. The little face
You are
thing.
in a 13-minute slowdown caused by a crash.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna be super late today. But all I need is a beat that's super bumping, and I'll be all right. So, what I was saying is, I noticed that the little face thing doesn't have any gray hair, and I have gray hair. But anyway, I like my gray hair. Like if someone says, "Oh my gosh, you have so much gray hair or silver hair," some people would take that as being offensive, but only because they're not satisfied with themselves. They're not comfortable with themselves. They're not comfortable in who they are. And of course, something like that is going to trigger them because it's triggering the unloving thing that they have within themselves about themselves. That's the whole point. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it doesn't matter what people say about you. It's how you interpret things. That's it. It's your interpretation, your perception of how things are. But it doesn't, all that stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people think. What matters is how you feel about yourself. If someone said, "Oh my gosh, you get on my nerves, you act like you know it all." Well, I never said I know it all. I know I don't know it all, but I do understand it's because you feel inadequate. So you want to take that inadequacy and project it upon me and try to make me feel bad about something that has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with you. That's like I said, this is my whole point of this video, is when people say things about you or to you, it doesn't have anything to do with you. There are people who are sneaky, conniving. There are people who are just flat out mean, and I run across these people, and when I do, I don't take it personally. I just remove myself from their company, because that is the extent of who they are in the moment. They can't be any better than that, because that's who they are. I have to accept where they are. I have to accept who they are. But what I don't have to do is accept the treatment. I don't have to accept the abuse that's being projected at me because they're unhappy in their own life. If you can manage this, you can get out of a lot of the ruts that some of you are in. Some of you are so, how should I say, are so fixed on the opinions of others, even those you look up to. There's some of you out there who look up to people and you're just fixated on how and what they think about you. And I see this a lot in the AJ videos, the seminars that he holds. People are so fixated on this man liking them. They're willing to pander to him in ways that are not beneficial to themselves, because they're not learning anything. They're just learning how to do what he says is the right thing to do, the truth, what love is, not because they want to have it within their soul, but because they want to appease him. They want to prove to the person that they're doing a great job. And it's really interesting because you can see it when they speak. You can sense it. You can hear it. And most people are like that. Most people are pandering to someone, whether it's a boss or a family member, a friend, because they want to be accepted. They have this desire to be accepted. But I can tell you this, when you let go of that, it is so freeing to not care what anybody thinks. There are people who at work who admire me, and they admire me and some other things, and it doesn't matter to me. Like, that's their business, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to give them whatever it is that they're seeking. I'm not going to give them validation. I'm not going to back them up on things that are untruths or unloving. I can't do that. But a lot of people will do that, hoping that you will back them, hoping that you will support them. And you can't do that. If you have integrity, you can't do that. If you have integrity, you won't do that. There are people who have liked me in the past, and they thought, hey, look, wow, we're friends, we communicate, and the thing is, when they want something from me and it's unloving, they can't get it, they'll get angry. So you just have to be mindful of these things, and just maintain your integrity, maintain truth, and maintain love for yourself, not for anybody else. Because if you do it for anybody else, that which you're attempting to do will waver, because people come and go in and out of your life, and it's important to maintain your own, so that you maintain integrity, you maintain truth, and you maintain love for yourself, regardless of who is around. Regardless of who is around. And that's happened to me a lot. People have come and gone, and they think, oh, this Zach's so nice, and he helps me with my problems, and oh, he gives me clarity. And then the one time they, I don't support them in something, they have an attitude and they vanish. And that's fine. That's what's supposed to happen. Demons are supposed to move away from me. If I'm not in alignment with the demon, then that's just the natural order of things. That's the universal law. Like attracts like. And if you're not in alignment with one another, then you will repel one another. And the way that it works is the demon will leave. If the demon can't get what the demon wants, the demon will leave. I love the word demon. I've been using it a lot, and I love it. I just love it. I used it the other day, and someone said, oh, I don't think they're a demon. I'm thinking to myself, that's because you don't know what a demon is. I didn't argue with them. I didn't try to explain to them what a demon is. Hey, you're going to believe what you want to believe. You're going to believe it how you want to believe it. You're going to accept it how you want to accept it. And I have to respect that, because that's your free will. That is your free will, and like I said, I have to accept it. I'm obligated to do that, because when you live in truth and when you live in love, you're obligated to live in truth and live in love. It's an obligation. It's an obligation, people. But I can tell you, it only feels like an obligation when you're not in alignment with it. When you have ulterior motives, in terms of living in truth, or presenting as if you live in truth, I should say that, or presenting as if you live in love. Now I totally lost. I looked at the video and I totally forgot what I was saying. Anyway, whatever. So, yeah, that's it, I guess. Just, try to be mindful of that. And, this lady behind, this girl behind me, this young girl, she just keep playing with her phone. Just keep playing with her phone. What else? Is there anything else? Let me see. No, I guess that's it. I guess it could be a short video. Half the time than I usually do. I think that's it. Yep, that's it for me, you guys. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. I can't believe it's Friday already. Like, this whole week just flew by. I have my little nieces and nephews coming for the whole week of Christmas, which is going to be interesting, since I don't really have kids in my house, but now there's going to be like 5 or 6 of them. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's going to be fun. I, have some activities set up for us that we can do. I don't know how the weather's going to be. It's probably going to be cold. And I don't know if it's going to be raining, so if we can't go out and do things, at least we'll have things to do in the house, So yeah, that's what's coming up for me. Yeah, so that's it. So everyone, have a great Friday, like I said, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye now.